All right, all right. We about to transition Omaha. We coming right back with moving people to action. I'm about to get out the way. I'm slash engineer now. Um, so I'm got them these gentlemen looking handsome. So ladies, chime in, ladies.
You can't give it up, man.
I know.
Man, you're just as bad as this guy over here, Timmy Clark.
Hey, he loves that microphone.
No, I know when to walk away from the microphone.
Yeah.
Get you on mic 2.
Okay, you guys as he's getting my man set up here, let me kind of set the tone for what's going down. Now, can I point this down a little bit?
Okay.
Like this?
No, it talks right here. You gotta go talk through here.
Okay.
That point. So
Okay, nice. Okay.
So it'll pick up.
Right on. Okay, as we test 1 2 1 2. Here we go, you guys. Michael.
Yes, sir.
Let's first of all,
Actually, probably this.
let's turn.
When I see your face, so you just.
Yeah, let's most definitely don't give Mountain Dew, and 7-Up. I mean, King, have they cut your check yet, bro? Okay. We're gonna keep those on. So, but you have an opportunity if you want your product to be shown on this show as we're doing our thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut a check.
Oh wait, people can cut a check.
They can cut a check
Cut a check to who?
to
Oh,
Omaha Community Broadcasting.
I thought to me.
Okay. Well, hey, we get a check at let's just move on from the checks. Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Moving People to Action, where we listen, we learn, and hopefully we cause folks to move. My guest is Michael Scott, as I so eloquently said on my social media page, in terms of I must look at you. Okay, so radio talk show, Unleash. He's a former radio host.
TV.
Michael, won't you just versus me regurgitating it, won't you kind of give us, just for the folks that don't know, Michael Scott lives here in Omaha, Nebraska, been here off and on for probably the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Give us a little, man, where you've been and where you at right now.
Hey, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know I give you a lot of grief.
You do.
But I appreciate
It's
it.
good stuff, though.
For those of you who do not know me, I'm originally from New York City, from Jamaican parents. I moved to Omaha in '82 and was working for KETV. I started as a reporter there, and when I left, I was the main anchor, and we had gone from the number 3 station in town to the number 1 station in town. So I left him in good hands with Rob McCartney, and then I went to Los Angeles to work for Entertainment Tonight, and then CBS News in LA. And then I came back to Omaha, ran for Congress, lost. I'm the guy who gave you Lee Terry, and left again and went to Dallas, Fort Worth, where we took a number 3 show and made it number 1. That is where the infamous lizard attack anchor video happened. If you have your Google out,
Somebody please put that in the feed in the comment. Just look up and search
lizard attacks anchor. Make sure you have the audio up loud so you can hear the screams like a little girl.
Lizard attacks news anchor.
That works.
And I think that's probably in the top 5 of all.
This happened in 2002. And
somebody find that and put that in the feed, okay, please.
This happened in 2002. And 2 years later, ABC News shows up at my job, and they're doing a piece on the first viral video star. And that was me. Got 1 million hits. And this was before Google. This was before YouTube. And people, when they heard about it on the Jay Leno show, because Jay Leno showed the video 6-7 times, crying and laughing.
I
And
remember that.
And he said it was from our from our Dallas station. And this was on a Friday, and everybody went to the station website and crashed it.
Wow. So I tell you now we're gonna have to spend some time, Brother King and Scott. How do we monetize that? How do
You know what?
monetize? Man, you
just
talking about millions of folks.
Do you know a young lady named Kara? Very attractive woman.
She's gonna be on Monday night. We'll be talking
Kara
about
Warner, is that the last name?
Yeah.
I reached out to her yesterday. I said, do you know anything about TikTok, monetizing TikTok? And she says, I know a little bit. What do you want to talk about? So I'm probably going to reach out to her today. Because that was James Mason.
Yeah.
James Mason last spring, he suggested it.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm sitting on this. Let's do something. See what happens.
Well, that's good. We just got to get folks in the know. That's their area of expertise. And, they go from there.
But to finish, my most recent endeavor was Michael Scott Unleashed, which was a podcast that was going up till last summer. And then I had some health issues.
Yeah.
Some serious health issues.
Yeah, I understand.
And, And right now, I'm just trying to figure out whether I want to bring it back. A lot of people have been asking me, when's the show coming back? When's the show coming back? But it's very stressful. And you know how stress affects your health.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably what put me in the hospital, was the stress of putting a show on. So we'll see.
Yeah. And this is a good, segue, because we were talking about health. And as you know, one of my number one things that I'm focusing on for 2024 and hopefully for the rest of my life is self-care. And
you've lost a ton of weight, man, since the last year.
Thank you. And a lot of it is that consciousness, Michael, of health, of just trying to be mindful in terms of just taking my medicine, what I'm putting in my mouth, and some type of physical activity, something. So, we've had, you don't have to share your personal stuff, but I just want to recap in terms of, we've had a subject matter expert, have contributors now, the MP to Action, kind of like CNN. Now, after this show, you're going to be my As the World Turns from Omaha, Nebraska contributor. So I had Ted Lampkin, mental health therapist. I have Doug Washington, chemical dependency. And I've had Chet Fortune. He did some work with Terrence Bud Crawford, strength coach and conditioning. He's on a world really platform now in terms of just his talent and expertise. We all talked about, really think about those three. It's all about self-care, and I know there's people that's dealing and waking up with mental, challenges, anxiety, stress, behavioral disorders, and all type of comorbidities. And I just think if we don't talk about it, and you were really kind of just busting me out a little bit in terms of, some of the folks know that's listening and watching that I had prostate cancer and had my prostate removed. And the reason
there's a
lot of folks dealing with that.
I was busting him out was because Lloyd Austin, who is the defense secretary of our country, at the end of December, beginning of January, he went into the hospital for prostate surgery.
Yeah.
And he did not tell his supervisors. But keep in mind, it wasn't like there was no one manning the helm when he left. The deputy secretary of defense was there. See, in this day and age, you can be in a hospital room and still run a country. Okay.
Yeah.
The only concern is when they put you under,
right?
Who makes the call?
That's right.
It's the deputy defense secretary will make the, and he should have told his supervisors. But I was doing some research into this, that a lot of Black men are hesitant to talk about things that are going on below their waistline. And it's a thing,
Why?
Because you're trying to live up to the myth, okay? that we are sexual animals and, powerless. It comes down
No.
to virility. When someone, with all that goes with the prostate, and men are concerned that they will not be perceived as a man because they do not have, because there's problems down in the plumbing. How about
Yeah.
that? So that's something we need to get over. We need
Yeah.
to bring it to the forefront. I don't know if you've also noticed in the last couple of weeks, the new King of England had prostate problems. Okay, it's something we can't keep hidden. We have to bring it out, and we have to talk more about it.
And I believe most recently too, Dexter King.
Yes, that's what he died from.
Yeah,
was
he
it?
died from prostate.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
And so I think shining the light, and this is so. Remember, MP to action is about how do we expose, aware, educate, and move people. Most cases, and I don't want to say most cases because some folks out there are smarter than me but I know one thing: if you really be proactive and check your prostate on a regular basis, you can catch that cancer before it metastasizes and get into your bones and into your system. And really, I would have been in a worse situation, Michael, if I didn't catch my prostate diagnosed early. So we did active surveillance for almost 5 years because it was so small. The prostate, the cancer was so small, we opted to do active surveillance until it increased. Then we said, okay, it's time to take it out. And so as of right now, to my knowledge, I am totally cancer free. I'm totally cancer free, man. And so it's just you have to be proactive. One, for the men out there that don't have, do you have a medical home? Do you have a?
I'm sorry, I thought I turned that off.
Yeah. Come on, you should know better. You're a national Entertainment Tonight and news and folks. You should know better to turn your phone off, Michael. Come on.
Here's the funny part. It's my urologist's office trying to reach
wow. Well, isn't that great? Isn't that
let me turn this off. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really about, I mean, the question was, do you have a medical home?
What do you mean by
a primary care?
Oh,
you
gosh.
know your doctor.
Oh,
you know.
Let me tell you. First of all, this thing that happened this summer scared the hell out of me. I had been told before that I had certain levels of kidney disease, but I ignored it. And in August, I was like completely off my feet in my apartment. Couldn't walk, couldn't urinate. And finally, my girlfriend, church lady, Mary Ann, she said,
the church lady. Hi, church lady.
She said, I'm coming over to get you. Because I wouldn't let her send over an ambulance. And she came, got me, put me in a shower, and took me to the emergency room. And they said, you have stage 4 kidney disease.
Oh, my.
You've had an acute renal failure. Everything is shut down. If she hadn't got you here, you wouldn't have been here tomorrow.
Wow.
So we can't play with this stuff here, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know where, you know what it is? When you're in such a lot of pain and discomfort, you don't think rationally, and she had to step in and be the rational one here. So you need to surround yourself with people who can help you.
Yeah.
And who can give you, don't give me any kind of thing your grandmother said, oh, put a poultice on your head, it'll be okay. No,
Right.
You got to have medical help. And I have a whole new team of doctors now.
Wow.
Urologists.
So he said he's got a team.
Yes.
Kind of talk because this is what I'm talking about for men, particularly, all men, but targeting African American men. This is so important that you know this.
I have a new primary doctor, and he is in cahoots or communication with the urologist, who's in communication with the kidney doctor. And I've got 4 new doctors, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the importance of knowing your doctor, building. It's like a marriage or relationship. It's building a meaningful relationship that they get to know what's in your head, your body, and what's happening with you.
And that's the thing too. When you get in front of your doctor, don't make it like he's pulling teeth to get information out of you.
Mm.
Tell him what's going on. This is like if you took your car to a mechanic, you would say,
That's
there's
right.
a sound underneath
You're
here
trying to
that's-
help them
Yeah,
a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is what my problem
Right,
is here.
right.
You got to be honest with it. And guys, I know it's hard to say, well, my thing ain't working like it used to.
Yeah.
That comes with age or it comes with disease. You need to talk about this.
Yeah. And that's important because I can see in terms of the difficulty, Michael, it's easier said than done. But when you feel like that's taking your manhood in terms of just your motivation for who you are and your oomph, it's hard to really deal with that. But I think in terms of when you look at the consequences,
I'm biting my tongue.
yeah,
already.
yeah. But when you look at the consequences of the effects of you getting cancer because you're not being proactive, and that's also in terms of colon cancer,
Mhm.
you can slow that down by catching it sooner. And I know it's very people like your prostate cancer. Yeah, you do gotta assume the position, right? But so what? You're talking about no 30 seconds, 40 seconds,
And then he takes you to dinner afterwards. It's not too bad.
boy, you are just something else. But you do feel like you need to have a cigar or a smoke afterwards. You're like, okay, are you done?
But you know what I found out from one doctor? They now with blood tests,
Yeah,
they don't have to,
Yeah, there's other non-intrusive
non-invasive.
invasive
Yes.
way. That's it. Non-invasive ways.
rectum, damn near killed them.
Right. But don't be scared, folks. We try to encourage them to go to the dang doctor, Michael. So that's really, I think it's important that health and let's move away from this whole health thing. But I wanted to just pause because I know you're challenged and dealing with some things. I'm dealing with some things, and I think we're doing right. I took one day and I just reconnected with all my doctors, got scheduled, and so in the next 60 days, I'm gonna hit the reset, reboot on everything that we get for 24 each year. You should get a baseline of where you at. A1C, your diabetes, hypertension, all of those kind of things.
And you got to think about what your parents have had.
That's right.
My father had diabetes, died from prostate cancer. My mom died from thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
And my mom, when she found out it was thyroid cancer, she was immediately on the phone to me because I kept telling her for years, the doctors kept saying, well, we'll keep an eye on that thyroid for you. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah. So let's move in terms of just
Politics.
Yeah. As the world turns from Omaha, Nebraska, what's on your mind, man? I mean, there's so much going to untangle. And sometimes, in some ways, I don't think we can untangle it. It's so damn messed up.
Primary on my mind this morning, Taylor Swift.
Look at you, boy. Look at you.
No, I am laughing at it because the right wing in this country have now turned Taylor Swift into a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Taylor and Travis Kelce are part of a cabal that is trying to put Joe Biden into office again. And it's just, also Aaron Rodgers, you know who he is?
Aaron Rodgers.
Quarterback,
Yeah.
Green Bay. He's part of the conspiracy.
Wow.
He calls Travis Kelce the Pfizer kid because he does commercials for Pfizer. And of course, that's a conspiracy there too, okay? So he and Taylor are going to make Biden, and oh my gosh, it just gets crazier and crazier every day.
But when you think about it, Taylor Swift,
274 million followers. I looked it up today.
so I think she has more followers than former President Trump.
She may. Yeah, I believe she does.
But here's the point, though. Just like he uses his power and influence to persuade and to move people, to threaten and cause people pain, Why can't you use her?
Well, here's the
But I
funny
mean,
thing. Rolling Stone did an interview with Trump, and the question of Taylor Swift came up, and Trump accused her of being idolatry. In other words, putting idols at the top of a ticket at a party. That's what he is. His people think he's God.
yeah,
They've said that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's I don't know what. I don't think there's nothing God about him.
There's nothing godly about him.
Not at all.
Which is surprising that the most ungodly president we ever had has the evangelical Christian support.
From your perspective, Michael, especially in terms of you paying attention to global news and things like that, how the hell did we get here? Why are we even having conversations about Trump running again for office when you look at not, opinions, but what he's done factually? Why are we here? Why is he still an item? Why are we still talking about him?
2004, The Apprentice show came on, okay? And let's be honest, before that show started, Trump was going down the drain. His businesses were falling, and then someone came along and pumped him up to be this business god. I am so smart, I'm going to be able to deal with apprentices. And these people at home said, oh, Donald Trump knows what he's talking about. He told Kid Rock he can't be on anymore. I mean, this is ridiculous. This guy is nothing but a showman. He's a grifter. He says what people want to hear and then turn around and say the opposite to another group of people to let them know what they want to hear.
But he's evidently he's believable.
Well,
look at his following.
Well, this is the guy who said when he was running the first time, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. Well, it seems like this is what's going on right now. Anybody else would have been kicked to the wayside. You figure.
What if it was President Obama?
Think about how much grief Obama got as president when he wore a tan suit one day.
And I went out and bought one because he wore that suit. Okay, I got my Obama suit.
And here is Trump on camera before he's elected the first time, talking to a reporter about grabbing women by the, punanis. Okay.
Yeah.
And anybody else would have been dead the next day.
So now we're here. We know that it's really messed up in terms of just what's happening and what he has caused. In your estimation, how do we get back to the center? I mean, now is solutions. How do we get back to some degree of I hate to use Nikki's phrase in terms of let's not make America great again. Let's make America normal. How do we get it back to some degree of normalcy again?
People say, oh, Donald Trump, he got all these racists. I'm going, he didn't create the racists. They were there. He just said the things that they like to hear. And all of a sudden
I gave him permission.
Oh, I can come out of the basement now and talk about things?
Right.
Hey, the only thing that's going to change for the positive in America is that we do not allow Donald Trump back in office. Let's be honest here. This is a man who is only running for office right now to keep out of prison. Because once if he gets into office, he will pardon himself. He will make changes on judges. Here's one thing that we can hold on to as a possibility. Right now, the Supreme Court has 3 judges on there that were appointed by Donald Trump.
Right.
Right now, on February 8th, the Supreme Court is going to be looking at Amendment 14 to see whether Donald Trump is eligible to run because he's been part of an insurrection.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Now,
but also they're looking in terms of just giving him looking and see if can he have immunity.
Yes. But here's the thing to remember now with the Supreme Court. Yes, it's a conservative court. But what's going on with Trump right now is all about power. Trump wants to get into office and diminish the power of the courts.
Yeah.
The courts know that, and they may have to say, we need to stand in his way. Keep in mind, this guy now has gone to court 60 times plus
Mm-hmm.
since he lost that election, and all the judges have ruled against him.
But
Many of them judges he appointed.
the question still remains: what do we do about it? What do we do? I mean, I know you said we can't let him back in office. Now, I have to say, in terms of moving people to action, you know, this is my personal opinion, and Michael's the same. And I welcome, you know, folks that feel opposite to come on the show as well. We can have a conversation, but you know, I really want to focus on helping people to make independent decisions based on facts, right? And then, so how, when you think about and put it into terms of civic responsibility, what can we do to head off this
Out of
really
control,
out of control,
bus.
maybe at a demise in terms of our democracy? You know, it's
Our
at,
democracy is in peril right now. If this man, I hate to sound so,
I know you sounding. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get to.
I hate to sound
How,
like Paul
how do we
Revere,
get? How do
the-
we get people to move to action? To get a, you cannot. One of the things, I don't care who. If you out there, you like Trump, we can't assume our viewers out there. We got, look at the percentage of black men that voted for Trump last time, and they're saying the number is increased of black folks that voted for Trump. And I'm going to tell you right now that that look on your face, I did not vote for Trump.
But
That's
would,
for
but
sure.
Would you vote for him now?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
You know,
And I
sometimes you
haven't-
say things that make me worry about you. Okay?
I say things that kind of agitate and kind of just have for the sake of conversation. But what do you think people can? What can we do? I know people like, you know, they say voting. I mean, my vote won't matter. I think when you think about these boards and the judges, the Republicans were very, very strategic in how they have taken control of our judges in those the districts and the Supreme Court. He's my understanding he got more appointed judges than probably the last 10 presidents.
Actually, Biden's passing him up.
Okay.
And Biden's is a lot of women and people of color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
thank
Thank you for fact checking me on air. I like that. We should know right now if you say something that's just not in line or out of order.
you know what? You had
Let's go
mentioned
ahead and
something
correct it.
about people interacting. If there's someone out there, I wish we had put out yesterday that we were going to be doing this, because they're friends of ours in Up With People
Yeah.
who I can't believe the stuff that comes out of their mouths in support of Donald Trump. And they will say things like, oh, well, it was a judgment that he won because he said defamatory things about the woman. No, he also raped her. That's what the judge who said. He goes, any other case, this would have been a rape. This is what the judge who tried the case said. Yeah, we said he sexually assaulted her, but anybody else, this would have been a rape. Okay.
Well, so when you think about, I mean, I think we can't really change, you know, in terms of who Donald Trump is, right? But we can really look at our behaviors and what can we do besides sitting on the sideline and watching all this stuff go by. And I think we gotta challenge people to get involved with your local politics, from school board to state commissions. You become a commissioner on a state board, or, you know, even a mayor, your city. But you just can't. We can't get it done by just sitting on the side.
And you can't just sit around complaining. You got to do something, okay? You know what? If someone had told me we were 30 years ago that I was going to run for Congress, the U.S. Congress
Right.
in 98, I said, boy, what are you smoking?
Right.
I couldn't see myself being a politician.
But you did it.
But I did it. And I tell
Yeah.
you, Senator Bob Kerrey had an event. I was there, and he was going to announce me. And I was up in my hotel room, actually on my knees on the floor going, what am I doing here?
Right. Right.
So yeah.
So,
I mean,
so if we would, we would look at, we have an election that's coming up in November. So when you think about what people can do, I think we got to have, in fire chats or in your house, home, we got to be willing to have conversation about if we don't stand, if you don't let me know how you feel, I think we had to have more conversation.
well, you're going in the right direction. I mean, for the last 2 years, you've been holding these forums
Yeah.
online, and it gives people a chance to air things out. A lot of times those things come across as 5 angry black guys. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get more interaction from people, whether it be by phone or online. But
Yeah, interaction, but and educate. I mean, you got so many resources out there on social media now, AI now, to do some degree of fact checking. So, are they what they're saying? Is it truthful? And because right now in this country, I believe, Michael, we're driven, and we've been pushed around by fear, creating a false narrative in terms of fear.
you're on it, buddy.
Look at the border stuff. They don't want to solve the border crisis.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay. Right now, the House.
Hey, be careful. Don't be put your head on my knees and stuff.
Well, I
okay?
just figured I'm trying to check your prostate.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry to break that concentration, but the border.
Right now, the House today is trying to decide whether to impeach Homeland Security head.
That's right.
Okay. Who is in charge of the border? They said he isn't doing his job. Well, it would help him to do his job if you did the legislation that is waiting. It was bipartisan legislation. Bipartisan means Democrats, Republicans put this together. It's the best plan in 40 years on how to deal with the border. Everybody was on board until Donald Trump said, nope, can't do it, because that was his number one issue to complain about.
Yeah.
Because last year he was complaining about the economy.
They're coming over.
Well, the economy is great right now. Okay?
Yeah.
So he can't complain about the economy. So all he's got left is the border, and he won't let them sign the legislation to solve the problem on the border. Don't tell me that Republicans are a compassionate party when you say we've got people dying crossing the borders, but we're not going to deal with this until after November. How many people are going to die
between now and November? Yeah. It's sacrificing lives
for power.
For power and politics. Mm-hmm. And that's really that presidency, in terms of that office, is the most powerful office in the world. And so I see them sacrificing lives and not doing the business of the people. Sometimes we forget this is a government for the people, by the people, but the people, sometimes we put them in office and we just forget that, wait a minute, we put them in office. They need to be doing what we put them in office to do and hold them accountable to that. We forget the accountability piece.
Do you go on TikTok at all?
Every once in a while, somebody send. I get the most TikToks from some of my friends, the cigar boys. We said it'd be some TikTok stuff.
I've sent you some too.
No,
But they have a guy. He's a roving reporter, and he is, I think he's Arabic, and he's interviewing Americans in Las Vegas on the street. It's basically your man on the street interview. And he's asking these young people, so what's the name of the continent that you live on? And they don't know North America. They don't know the name of the president.
Yeah.
They don't know the name of the vice president, which I can understand. But it's like they don't know anything. But these are the voters.
You know, I want to just pivot just a minute in terms of just like vice president, right? I think this is my personal opinion. The Democratic Party, I think their strategy is wrong. I think I feel like they're hiding our vice president. This person will be next in line if something happened to the president. And I know they don't want to give the Republicans more ammunition to say, well, oh, look, if something happened to Biden, you know, Kamala's going to be the next president. We don't want that. No, we may want that. Basically, she's probably the best prepared for it in terms of you looking at her being her second term. So I was just thinking about in terms of strategy wise, how did we get here?
Kamala's not strong.
So
she's not strong.
That's so I know that's your opinion. Why do you think she's not strong?
First of all, it's not true that she hasn't been around. Just a couple of days ago, she was on the stump fighting against these abortion situations that are going on right now. That's become her big go-to. Now, keep in mind, 2 years ago, she was the person who was assigned to handle things going on the border. And I'm going, why would she take that on? Because this is a no-win situation right now. You know, this is just going to kill her credibility, and it has. You know, the person that
why? Because them numbnuts didn't pass legislation to give the resources and the tools. So it's just not fair to say somebody fell in something, just like what they're trying to impeach, you know, the director for. Like, well, you didn't carry out the laws. Well, damn it, you didn't give me resources to.
You didn't give me the laws.
You didn't.
Give me the laws. Give me the laws.
Show me the bag. Give me the money back.
You know, we mentioned TikTok there briefly. I'm one of those people, if I start on TikTok, 45 minutes later, I'm going, I'm still on this thing. What the hell happened to the day? You just get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, they always put on things like a bunch of kids arrested after a carjacking or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the comments. You will see some of the most racist comments in the world in the TikTok.
Yeah.
Because these folks are anonymous and they can say whatever they want. Oh, yeah, the cops pulled over another car of jungle bunnies and stuff like that. I mean, it's really crazy stuff on there. It makes you sick.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is crazy. But if we get back to the border, I'm just thinking about, what do you think would be some solutions to the border? I always kind of thought, well, how about if we ask the people that are coming, what would it cause you to stay in your own country? That United States spend more time doing country building, because I think they'll be able to articulate why they're trying to pursue a country that'll give them a better life. But I think if we don't hit it from the core, we've been dealing with this damn border stuff for, come on now,
50 plus years.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to understand too, though.
You guys, if you have any solutions, please share your thoughts in terms of just.
That's what I was just going to say to you. You asked me,
Sandra, how do we solve, Carla? I mean, how do we solve these problems in terms of some of this, these problems we're dealing with, especially your solutions around Donald Trump?
And if Carla had the solutions, she'd be president of the United States.
Well, sometimes the solution, people don't listen. Sometimes it's common folks are telling you over and over, Michael, the only way for you to relieve this pain and get that nail out of your butt is to move. And they can tell you over and over until you decide to move and that you really want to fix it. I don't think we really want to fix it, in terms of border. We are one of the you telling me we can't stop people from coming over in that quantity? They're coming over at a nice click.
Well, Donald Trump was selling the wall, and the wall is basically a second century solution. Build a wall.
Absolutely.
They're going under the wall. They're taking submarines around the wall.
That sounds like some Putin shit.
So
his friend Putin.
So, Putin is waiting to see what's going to happen.
Oh
in
yeah,
November here.
yeah. So, okay. So politics as we go around the world. Well, we talked about the Super Bowl. Are you happy that the Chiefs?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. The day before, I was like, Ravens going to run down their throat.
Wow.
And I'm a Chiefs fan, okay?
Yeah.
But I was taking into account what happened in the regular season.
Okay.
Receivers weren't hooking up. The KC offense looked listless, and I'm going, what's going on here? And I thought they wouldn't even make it to the playoffs. I was very stunned.
Yeah.
They've dominated, and they were on the road.
Wow.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah. So, hey, just real quick, I got my man, aka Jamie Robinson. He's on my feed. I'm doing live. If you guys want to go live to my social media page as well, but Richard Brown, thank you guys from Maryland. Thank you guys for tuning in. But hey, when you think about what has happened recently with the governor being in North Omaha, announcing, you're talking about $240 million. Just give me your reaction. I mean, this, I know you're a keep it real kind of a dude, but what are you thinking about that? What are you hearing? What's the word on the streets in your world? $240 million coming to North and South Omaha.
I'm not hearing a lot of people talking about it. I hear people like you. I hear people who are naysayers, and I can understand the naysayers because, again, I've been in Omaha since '82.
What do you mean you can understand the naysayers?
Because since '82, I can't tell you how many projects I have seen that have been announced for North Omaha and a big chunk of cash, and it's going to do this and do that and do this. And 2 years later, we're having the same conversation. Maybe we got a sidewalk fixed out of it. Nothing happens.
So the money, the number.
Because we fight amongst ourselves. I said this when I was in Denver and moved here, because I saw it in Denver and I saw it here. The crabs at the bottom of the barrel pull at the ones on the top and pull them down. I have a lot of faith right now in Terrell McKinney.
Okay.
He impressed me.
Okay.
He impressed me when I was doing the radio show, and he came on and he had a T-shirt on, sort of an Ernie Chambers shirt.
Okay.
And I said to him,
now he'll tell you he's his own man, so he ain't trying to fall. No, although Ernie has former Senator Ernie Chambers has done some incredible.
But to finish my point, he was on there and he was telling us, well, he was going to go to a luncheon afterwards with a bunch of women and something like that, women's group.
Okay.
And when we were off the air, I said, "You are not Ernie. This shirt works for Ernie. My dad always taught me, when in doubt, wear a tie. Go put a tie on. If you see the crowd, you can take the tie off." This kid, within 24 hours, changed his photo and put a tie on his face, on his campaign.
Wow.
I like the way he thinks. He doesn't think he knows everything. He listens to what people have to say, and he, interprets it the way he
Full
wants.
disclosure, are you working for Senator McKinney?
No, actually, I haven't seen him in a while. Justin Wayne, I think the both of them they give me more hope that this chunk of money will do good, because they are the stewards and they're trying to watch where it's going.
Okay.
I don't know all about everything about the trade center that they're building over here.
Right. The north, the business park and things like that. I think, my opinion, I will always, in terms of just acknowledge both senators, Justin and Terrell, for amazing accomplishment. Amazing accomplishment. I think this is the moment of truth. It takes leadership too, at their level, at all levels, to keep the ship, to keep us moving down a direction and on course of making good on that legislation and the intent. My hope, personal opinion, is I want to see that 200. I want the accountability. I know they were working on some kind. I think that inland airport
Mhm.
oversight kind of thing. I think that's a good thing. But I really think that we got to spend more conversation on how do we win versus I don't have, I didn't get. They messed this up. They don't like the scoring system. There's a lot of things that went. There's something I wouldn't say a lot. I don't know, but it is difficult to give out money. I've been on boards that's all we did was give out money. It is difficult because it's always, now you got some folks saying, well, why did so many small businesses just get $50,000? I think it was quite a few of them just got $50,000. Maybe they asked for $250,000, they asked for $1 million, and they got $50,000
I wish I could get 50,000
of grant money to
of some
say,
grant
hey,
money from our little show.
hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You could apply for
Could
that.
I?
Yeah, it may be some money.
You know what?
left.
That's what I wanted to talk to
Yeah.
you about 3 weeks
Okay,
ago.
okay, off that. Let's stay focused offline. We'll talk about that offline. Offline, yeah. Don't kill me.
You never had a guest attack you.
Okay. So, my point in terms of this money, $240 million or so. Let's take this and really put a team around maximizing the effectiveness of how it can help grow North and South Omaha. That needs to be the strategy.
Is Willie Barney involved in the mix?
He is. He's, and I would say he's done his part.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking. Yeah.
he's done his part.
That's the empowerment network we're talking about.
Yeah, I think he pulled together his coalition that he pulled together, and they've been awarded $10 million. But there's 40 organizations and different professionals and folks in there that's going to eat off that 10 million.
Wait a minute.
You know,
Willie Barney got $10 million?
10 million.
And he didn't call me back about some money for my show last year?
This just happened, bro. This has just happened last
So he
week.
owes me then. is what you're
Okay,
saying.
okay. But there's a lot of folks. You got Malcolm X, 20 million. Charles Drew,
Malcolm X is getting 20 million?
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
So man, dang, where you at with the news, man? You supposed to be giving me this stuff.
Hey, at least I know where the streets go in North Omaha.
I know.
He's driving me around going, oh, I didn't know this go here.
So I think we have a chance, and I'm not 10 bits being positive. No. First time in the history, to my knowledge, this magnitude of resource coming to North Omaha, we should be excited about that and not look at ways to stop it from growing. Now, I really think every single one of the grantees should look inward and say, how do we spend money in North Omaha and keep it in North Omaha?
Yeah,
Don't you think?
You know, I
mean, Mike Maroney, he got a money bag in terms of just the business part.
Mhm.
So he'll be helping to manage that. But there's some smaller organizations, smaller businesses, the Culture House, and you have a Home Team Auto. I mean, it's a lot of people that are winning, that will win.
When you were talking about small business owners getting $50,000,
Yeah.
what went through my head was Dave Chappelle's reparations.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my $50,000. This is a semi-truck filled with cool cigarettes.
No, we ain't gonna do that with that money, Michael. We're not doing that. Okay. It ain't like party like it's 1999.
Mhm.
This money, and here's the thing: this is really oversight, and this is accountability that we must put on ourselves. Accountability that we
yes.
must put on ourselves. That money from somebody getting 50,000, Michael, to 10 million. There's accountability. There's checks and balances. You can't just spend that money any kind of way you want to because you told someone, I want the money for this. Here's how I'm gonna use the money. Please use the money for what you told folks you would use that money for.
And is there accountability? Will the person who handed you the 50,000 go, now show me the receipts? that you got?"
Absolutely.
That's what they need.
Absolutely. And there will be oversight. So please seek counsel if you don't have an attorney. Frank Hayes is going to be involved. He was one of the grantees.
Frank Hayes, one of the
Frank
first people I
Hayes.
met when I came to town.
Really? Yeah.
Well, he pitched me too. Boy.
Yeah, Frank Hayes. So he's going to be able to do things that he ordinarily wouldn't be able to do. At least a lot more of these kind of things of helping small businesses that really may not have the budget at the time to really be able to afford his services. And so buying down and subsidizing opportunities to help provide resources and tools for small businesses. So that's on the local level, man. I think you said accountability. We as far as this money, how do we, with all the grantees, work together to help each other out? We don't have to duplicate, reinvent the wheel. We find a template that's working, and we all model off of that template, but we have to be smart and work together. Especially, Michael, if more money is going to come to North Omaha, they're going to see how we're going to treat this.
This is not an insult.
No,
what I'm going to say to you, it's not an insult. You are part of the elitist class of Black Omaha.
Well,
let's be honest.
Some would debate that,
but
I know, I appreciate you.
Income,
gratitude,
and also your influence in the community. Okay,
gratitude.
But does the average Black person on the street know who you are, and do you know who they are and what their concerns are? You know, one good thing about, even though we're tired, but being someone that was on television, and my crappy apartment building, I told the landlord, I said, you don't understand. People tell me things. They just stop. I'm on an elevator and they go, man, my door isn't on, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And these are the things that concern them right now. I got a landlord that's screwing me over.
Yeah.
What the hell does this have to do with $240 million?
That's right. Can you feel it? Can you feel it and touch it? I mean, that's a very good point that you're making. And I think when you go out there on the Department of Economic Development, they'll have all of the grantees. You'll see the variation of different areas, and some of it is in human service, mental health. There's a mental health company that got a grant to do more.
Why you thought it was important to emphasize that to me? Okay.
and why did I put my hands on you like that? Huh?
You weren't about my hand on your leg.
I'm sorry. But I think there is a lot of good that's going to come out of this for generations. I think probably for the next 5 to 7 generations, we're going to see the spinoffs and the impact of these dollars. And I just think let's spend most energy on making it work.
Yes, I can deal with that.
Versus figuring out, damn, this is why it shouldn't work, or I didn't get money. I think, what we have to do is get shovel ready for what's next. There's more money coming down the pipe.
You know what, Tim? I tell you one thing.
Killing me, Smalls.
I've always enjoyed about you. From the first time I met you in the 80s, when you were just a fresh scrubbed kid getting ready to go to Up With People. You're such an optimist. I like it. I love your optimism.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I think really when you think about it, and I've kind of consciously had to think this through, Michael, in terms of just what's the alternative? When you think about, you said it, what does stress do? It affects your body.
Put you in a hospital.
It puts you in a hospital. So one of the things that I really picked up from my sister-in-law, Edna, is just, I'm not going to allow stress to enter into my body, into my brain, because I understand the power of the negative impact it can have. And I started to think about that. When you think about the negative impact it has on in terms of cancer, in terms of everything you're dealing with, a negative. That's why, if anything I tell you today, if you got negative people around you, get rid of them.
Okay.
Okay?
That's easy to say. But again, let me go back to this example I used.
Jimmy.
No, a white senior citizen female who doesn't have a door on her apartment can't get the management to put a door. There's no door. And
On her apartment.
yeah, they're coming and going. She has to stay up at night to make sure no one comes in her place.
Come on now.
She can't get a door.
This is where?
Shitty View. Oh, did I say
Oh.
Shitty View? City View Apartments.
Bleep.
This place, this woman, she can't think of 240 million right now. All she wants is her door. And it's easy to say we need to walk away from stress. The
It's
stress
hard.
is at her front door.
So when you think about that, okay, me being who I am, how do we help her solve that?
Gee, Pollyanna, you tell me.
I mean, really, I mean, in terms of just now, maybe this pressure of somebody hearing what you just said,
We'll show up with a door at her house.
or show up with a door, or let's call management. Let's everybody that's listening to this call.
Hey,
I don't want to get you kicked
I
out.
have bombarded management with emails, and yesterday I found out there was no air in my tires in their parking lot.
Yeah, I would like to, but I'm hearing you. I'm not
I know what
at
you're saying.
all discounting what you're saying, the realness of how do you get people at the grassroots level, at the street
Sub grassroots level.
Yeah.
Yeah. People who
to
are
feel it.
day by day trying
That's
to
right.
make it.
That's right. And it is real. And I know that because I deal with people every day where I have students that have food insecurities, they have transportation problems, they have a whole list. And what we staff spend time is solving them.
Hey, how long is this show?
You know, it's about over. It's about over.
Because I got that kidney problem working.
Oh, okay. So if we wrap up, Michael, in terms of just leaving our viewers, before I get you can give your last thoughts, because I know you do got that kidney thing going on. I do want to send in terms of, because we have family members of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that lives here in the city. I got a call from one yesterday, second cousin, I believe, in terms of just in reference to Dexter King passing. So condolences to the family and the loved ones. And then also I wanted to talk a little bit about the march. Some people say
February 10th.
February 10th. Yeah. Why the hell are we still marching?
No, I believe
I
you
mean,
should do it.
Yeah.
And I'm so
right.
glad you postponed it.
That's good. Okay. Because it was cold.
For the 48 hours leading up to this thing, I'm going, yo, man, here's the weather report.
Oh,
This is what it's going to say. It's
He
sub-zero.
was feeding me. He was right. So that's going to take place on February 10th, like you said.
Yep.
We're going to gather on the corner of 24th and Lake Street, 1:30, and we're going to start the march at 2 p.m. We're going to have breakfast that morning, free breakfast.
Free food?
From the Culinary Art. Metro Community College Culinary Arts Center is going to be providing breakfast at 9 a.m.
That food is exquisite from
Yeah.
the Culinary Arts Center.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So that's going to take place not on February 10th at 9 a.m. Building 22 in our Swanson building, the Culinary Art building. Then we're going to transition over to 24th and Lake. We're going to go from 24th and Lake to Pilgrim Baptist Church. It's going to be a short program. I want to thank our honorary chair, Johnny Rogers. Some of the entertainment. Actually, Jewel Rogers is going to be doing spoken word.
That's his daughter, right?
Yeah.
Charming
Yeah,
lady.
very smart. And then we have the CEO of Boys and Girls Club, Richard Webb. He's going to give a message to our young people. We're going to have entertainment. Millicent Crawford.
This is what's happening in the morning?
It's going to happen in the afternoon.
Oh, this is after
We're
2:30.
going to march from 24th and Lake Street and to Pilgrim Baptist Church.
How many blocks is that?
Oh, I mean, you're
Is
talking
it a
about
mile?
less than a mile, probably about a mile. Somebody Google map quest that or Google that and put that out
I'll
there.
figure it out. I'm just trying to figure out how
Yeah.
far I got to walk.
Yeah,
okay?
but for the ones that cannot walk, seriously,
Mhm.
we have secured some motor coaches, and so we'll have. So it's gonna be kind of a march, kind of a ride, and just being sensitive to that. But also, we want to thank 95.7 The Boss for being a sponsor. North End Teleservices, big shout out to Carmen. And
You know-
Carmen, just in that project alone, 24th and Lake Street, you're talking about almost $50 million of investment and construction that's going to go up right
Oh,
on
you're talking about? Oh, yeah, Carmen.
yeah, North End Teleservices. So one of our sponsors, Charles Drew, thanks Kenny for coming through, helping us out with putting this all together. You know,
You and
Yeah.
William King need to be careful using the word transitioning.
uh-huh.
When he said it, he goes, "Well, we're just transitioning here," and then you just
Yeah.
said we're transitioning. Transitioning today has
Yeah.
a whole new meaning.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
sexual.
yeah. Well, that depends on and transitioning to in terms of life
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Transitioning from life.
Hey, final
So,
thought from me.
Yeah,
here.
but yeah, Michael, keep your head up here, bro. Okay. But wait. Before you hit your final thought, just real quick.
I may be using
I
this
still-
bottle in a minute.
I
okay?
just real quick. I need to also thank Stable Gray for doing all the marketing and things like that for the March MLK March, and then Pastor Perkins. We're kind of co-hosting this. So Pilgrim Baptist Church is our host. Pastor Perkins
I saw you on
perking
there.
it up.
I saw Perkins.
Yeah. And so it takes, if you're doing it by yourself, it's not big enough, Michael. It takes a team, it's a collective thought, collective purpose to get things done. So with that, your final thoughts.
Man, I thought it was at the Academy Awards ceremony. Thanking everybody.
Thank you. I'm practicing so when I get my first Grammy. Okay.
Hey,
Speaking into existence.
the only thought I really want to share with you at this point is you do have more power than you think, okay? And that power is as simple as voting. This can't be a race that's lost by a few votes. It can't be. It has to be a dominant win for Joe Biden to show Donald Trump that we as Americans do not appreciate his form of government. I saw people being interviewed at a MAGA affair asking, so would you prefer to have Joe Biden or Donald Trump being a dictator? And they said, dictator. Maybe they don't know what the word dictator means. It's something that's thrown around a lot. Maybe they don't. See, this is the problem in this country. We have stopped teaching civics and we have stopped teaching history.
Yeah.
They don't know the history of Mussolini, of Hitler, these people who came to power as strongmen and who were gone within a decade, and their countries were left in ruins. That's what's ahead for us if we take that MAGA trip down the road. We have to save our country. We have to save our democracy, and we can only do it in the voting booth.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I tell you one thing, after that, bro, you're going to have to cut me a check, okay? He sound like, dang, you represent the Democratic Party.
No, I'm representing sanity
Yeah. And
democracy.
And you know what? And that's where I think we got to move. That's this whole back to center. They think everything has to be about Republican and Democrat. This is some common, what you're talking about is just some common sense
You know what else?
thinking,
You know-
doing right.
And here again is something simple you can do right now. Your congressman, Don Bacon. I like the guy, amiable. I've had him on my radio show before. I've been to his lectures before. Nice guy. But he's missing his opportunity in history. Right now, he could be the voice of sanity from the plains of Nebraska and challenge.
That has a nice little
Yes, and
yeah.
challenge the Republican Party and say, because you got to understand, he's in
Yeah.
a purple district
Yeah,
and he won. Okay.
yeah.
Biden won in that district. So Bacon is an anomaly right now. Okay. He won And what he needs to do is become the William Jennings Bryans and be the conscience of his party and say, this is not right. I was so disappointed with him in the last month. He voted overwhelmingly with his party for questionable moves.
And I think, I know you're gonna just keep going, just like the Energizer buddy. You just go keep going. But the thing is this, bro. What I like about what you said is, in terms of just, it's not so much Democrat or Republican. Let's get back to just some common sense thinking, and how do we save our democracy? With not thinking about I'm a Democrat or Republican. Let's just, if you look at for the common good of humanity, of really the quality of life that we want to preserve and so wake up to every day, it ain't about the politics of your party. It's about just, how do we treat each other? I mean, we're talking some human respect and dignity in terms of just the core principle of who we are.
Because the politics have made it tribal.
Yeah.
My tribe is better than your tribe, and nothing you can say will sway.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and use the restroom if you need to, man.
Hey,
and I'll go ahead and
close.
I'll close the show. And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. And will you please come back?
Yes.
I know what I'm doing. But are you going to come back on the show?
Hey, just pick up the phone.
Okay, right on.
Hey, I'm thriving for a camera.
Okay, I know. Add a microphone. Right on. Hey, you guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to Moving People to Action. There's so many things that's in front of us, things that we really gotta make decisions if we're gonna be a part, if we're gonna be a participant, or if we're gonna be a person that stand on the sidelines. And I think what's at stake here is there's serious consequences if we choose to stand on the sideline and not partake. I don't care what your party is. I think what we have to go back to is our core principles, morality. It matters. Honesty should matter. And why do we want anyone, I don't care if it was a Republican or a Democrat, representing us that don't fall in line with some of those core values and principles of who we are, our moral compass? How do we put that back on track, right? And so that's what I want to focus on. And as I close in terms of the chatter that's happening in North Omaha, we have an opportunity of a lifetime with the resources that have been allocated for North and South Omaha. It's what we choose to do, that we turn inward or outward, that we turn inward to look at how do we work together, how do we keep those dollars spinning in our community and maximizing the impact. And we got to build a accountability system of these dollars. Go out there and read, in terms of some of these grants, go read them so you can know what that $10 million is supposed to be used for. The $1 million, whatever amount. But there's opportunities that we have, but we cannot get it done if we look at just doing this. We only have meaningful conversation to look at ways to move forward, to have impact. Our children and their future is depending on us to do right, to do the right thing and not be so selfish in our resolve on everything. and really become about us and not about me. Okay, that's all. That's all I have, you guys. As I would say, take the time to lean forward, do what's necessary to be good to yourself, and that starts by you taking a deep breath, putting your oxygen mask on first, so you become strong, so you can help your tribe, and that your tribe is your immediate family, but it's you first. You as the king or queen or whatever of your tribe, Michael Scott.
Speak, brothers.
But it but it starts with you. And so I appreciate you. God bless you. And as my friend, my good friend, and I will give him credit for this. Until next time, take care of one another. I'm out. I had to give him credit because he always feels that I'm still
Ripping them off. Ripping them off.
paying him for using that line. You guys, please share. Go take the time to share this link so we can keep this thing spinning and keep this conversation going. But please feel free in the comments to sound off in terms of what resonated with you and solutions. What's our way forward? What's our way forward? We got a lot of people out there that's doing the work. My man Sal and Jamie. There's a lot of folks that receive grants that I believe will have a amazing impact in terms of just our communities. I'm out.
Speaking of Jamies, do you know who Jamie Harrison is?